Has it taken you closer to God in any way, or was it close to God?
It was totally close to God. It felt really a deep, I mean, I just was beyond moved by the depth of my space that I was carrying afterwards, and it lasted a long time. And I got very clear on, important issue that I was going through in my life at the time. And I felt that the decision that I made was, it was the one to make. Yeah. Because, isn't life is all about choices we make? And I felt that I was at a situation where I was making a big choice. And, we're going to go left or right. And so, yeah, the path we take is a big decision. And so I was able to, this big no came out. And I was able to really get into the no. And it freed me. It freed me up. So in that sense, yes. Yeah. I felt the God force like flowing through me and releasing me.
Did you feel as close to God there as any time in your life?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then just in being in relationship with Jessie too, and like looking in your eyes and being with her and going through that. It was a real death and rebirth. It really was. All within 2 hours or an hour and a half? 2 hours. The power of the breath is just really.
Still amazing to me.
It's just so amazing. How could it be so?
Yeah,
what a little breathing can do. How simple. The simplicity of it was just unbelievable.
This technique, I believe, has been around since the 70s. Is that true?
Well, so basically what I'm doing is a synthesis of different techniques that I've studied. But breath, rebirthing, Leonard Orr, that was like, 70, mid-70s, I think.
Is there something that we could do for more people to get awareness of this?
To get more awareness
of this technique, to help them, to help all of us.
You mean in terms of?
Is there something that does the rebirthing need to happen one-on-one, or could it happen from some instruction?
Well, the reason why you have a facilitator, the breath itself is very easy. It's circular connected breath. It's has roots in yoga. It's been around for millenniums. Yeah. The reason you have a facilitator is because in doing this circular connected breath, you for an hour and a half. Most of the time, people are not used to breathing fully and breathing ongoingly. So the minute some sensation starts to happen, like tingling or any sensation can come up and does in this process, people are up and out and making a sandwich and out the door. So you have a facilitator to basically keep you breathing
and in the moment.
And another thing people do is they go to sleep. So you have somebody basically to keep you awake and breathing and present. It isn't energetic and it builds. So to have somebody there allows you to have more of a sense of safety, to be able to drop deeper inside yourself and go into the territory that you actually need to go to.
Identify your own fears and your own.
Yeah, they'll just come up if you keep breathing and letting go, breathing and letting go. And the points basically ups the ante. It makes it a little more pinpointed in terms of the breath work. It seems to be more general, and the cellular release points tends to make it more specific in terms of the issues that you get in touch with.
Mm. So this is all related to what you and I were talking about on the way here, which was that the getting the teens. You said your soul's purpose was. You found that is to really bring this information to the teens.
Yeah. I would love to. I wish I met me when I was 15.
Me too.
Or 17. You know what I mean? I was so hungry for someone real, to talk to about real things, mystical things. I think these kids are mystics. I think they're looking for something. They got the whole game down. By the time they're 13, they've seen through the whole lies and the sham and to have just some real, a technique that they could do. Right. Because they've, sex and drugs. Okay, we did that. Now what?
Yeah, and you have a facilitator for just X amount of time, and then it's a process that you do on your own. It's a skill that you learn that you can do ongoingly in your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah.
So you
great.
can rebirth
it's your
yourself.
biggest ally, your breath.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have the confidence that no matter what comes up, you can breathe and let go on the exhale into it, and the gnarliness dissolves, and then what you experience is more connection and well-being. And once you have that confidence, that you can, then it allows you to process and be with whatever it is that emerges out of your psyche.
Do either of you know of a DVD for rebirthing?
No.
No.
I don't know.
Probably is one.
No. But this would be a powerful tool.
No kidding.
Yeah, it would really be a powerful tool, because if instead of like smoking a joint and going into like some escape trip or drug trip, the kids could go breathe for an hour, or maybe like on a first date. What an amazing
look into each other's eyes and
But
breathe.
what an erotic, intimate connection.
Absolutely.
Like, I'll rebirth you for an hour. This is your first date with someone you have all this sexual energy with. That's real intimacy. That's a depth of intimacy that one could not even touch in a sexual encounter. Wow. And that's what they're hungry for. We're hungry for real intimacy that we cannot get through sex. Because what I feel is that the sex act itself throws you into your birth trauma. This is my experience. It's birth trauma. It's wet, it's dark, it's intense, it's sweaty. You're in, right? The breath is heavy. You're in a rebirthing breath. There's death, there's pregnancy, there's abortion, right? There's life. It's like it's traumatic. I don't care. You can cover it over with a bottle of wine and as many drugs as you want to. You're still going to get. It's still a traumatic situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how can we maybe move around that? This is like the ultimate safe sex. It goes where sex doesn't go, because it's real intimacy and it's erotic.
Oh yeah, when you do
So
eye
erotic.
contact, doing this breath, which I do a lot, eye gazing, doing the circular connected breath. People initially go, I'm going to look at somebody and do this, because they're afraid they're going to, unearth something they don't want to show, right? But basically what happens is that people just start feeling very connected to each other, but in a non-threatening way. Mm-hmm. It doesn't bring up the same issues, obviously, that sexuality does, but it's highly pleasurable. And you start feeling Kundalini moving up and down your spine while you're having eye contact doing this breath work with another person. And it's just amazing how lovely it is. Yes.
And this is a real tantric. This is real tantra.
Yeah.
This is real tantra. I mean, real tantra is dealing with life and letting mundane life transcend and go into letting the profane become sacred. There is no profane. Everything is sacred. How does everything become sacred? How do we go through the molecular structure of reality? How do we find the holes in the net of duality? You know what I'm saying? And be through the breath, through the out-breath and the in-breath. When we're born, we breathe in. When we die, we breathe out. Death is an out-breath with no in-breath. So it's how do we let go? And if we can't die and let go, how can we be reborn?